Hey everyone, Opal Tabeti here, Nigerian American human rights defender and co-founder of Black Lives Matter. While I was born stateside, my roots are in the largest Black nation, Nigeria. While I'm here in the US and have been concerned about the elections and the state of US democracy, I'm equally concerned for our people in Nigeria. Military forces opened fire on a group of peaceful protesters in the suburb of Lekki in Lagos. Mind you, this is coming after 2 weeks of righteous and peaceful protests to end police brutality. But at 12 p.m. on Tuesday, October 20th, the local government of Lagos imposed a 24-hour curfew starting at 4 p.m. the same day, leaving citizens with only a 4-hour window to get home. If you know anything about Lagos, this is damn near impossible. And in an act of courage, hundreds of protesters decided to stand their ground and continue exercising their right to protest and ensure that the voice of the movement wouldn't be silenced. Many of you saw the footage with your own eyes of the Nigerian military shooting people. Dozens and dozens are reported dead. Many are still in the hospital fighting for their lives, and we don't know the final count of those who've died. I hope you've noticed that over the last 2 weeks, we young Nigerians have been rising with courage and determination, standing up against injustice, corruption, and abuse of power by the police, and specifically the Special Anti-Robbery Unit, also known as SARS. That's where the hashtag #EndSARS comes from. These righteous protests are being driven by the youth in Nigeria, a country with an average age of 18, and nearly 75% of the population is under the age of 40. These uprisings are inspiring, and they're some of the largest displays of people power in years. The Special Anti-Robbery Squad, aka SARS, is a unit of the police force that was founded in 1992. It was intended to counter the high rates of armed robbery, fraud, and other crimes that were rampant in the 90s. But it has since become the perpetrators of those exact crimes. Nigerians know how bad SARS is and other police forces that have brutalized them to the point of outright murder. But the root cause of institutions like SARS and the police is decades of bad governance. We know the abuse and grievances go far beyond the police unit. For decades, Nigerians have been subject to widespread corruption across all institutions of government. In the words of Chinua Achebe, Nigeria is not what it should be because its leaders are not what they should be. Simply put, the leadership of the country has not acted in the best interest of the over 200 million people it was designed to serve. The truth is, what we're seeing today in Nigeria is a direct result of colonialism, an enterprise that ravaged much of the continent and left its people in perpetual poverty. In Nigeria, the colonial authority established local authority and has for decades been pulling the strings of enterprise to continue to benefit from the country's assets. And our politicians have continued the cycle of profit from the poverty of the Nigerian people. What we see today with SARS, the Nigerian police, and other institutions is a cycle of greed and the resulting lack of governance. The Nigerian government for decades has refused to meet the basic needs of its own people. It may seem overwhelming, but there are things that people can do right now in solidarity. First, you gotta know that the Nigerian government needs to stop attacking and killing protesters, and we need to support the calls to stop them from doing so. Right now, movement is restricted, like quite literally. These ridiculous restrictions are limiting access for medical professionals and other necessary help. But now, perhaps more than ever, we need to put pressure on the Nigerian government to open up the halls of power to the Nigerian people and listen. For a country with an over 75% youth population, there is virtually no governance that represents this young constituency. We urgently need to pressure the African Union, the United Nations, and ECOWAS to account for every single lost life, every single human rights infraction that has taken place throughout these #EndSARS protests, and we need immediate investigation before the Nigerian government completely covers its tracks. The people of Nigeria need to be able to retain their ability to access the internet and social media platforms without censorship and without slowdowns. We must echo their calls for an implementation of their 5-for-5 demands plan. We need that to be implemented immediately. 1 in 3 Black people are Nigerian. Your friends, your neighbors, people you work with and go to school with. Most Black people have some sort of connection to Nigeria. And for anyone who believes that Black Lives Matter, that has to mean every Black life, no matter the context, no matter the country. We are each worthy of love, dignity, and defense. And so yes, Nigeria needs real solidarity because our destinies are linked. If we get this right in Nigeria, the entire Black world, the Black communities will forever be changed. So I'm glad to see that people of conscience are rising up offline and online. Right now, we need you to join us and say enough is enough. Thanks so much for watching. It's really important that everyone continue to pay attention to Nigerian social movements. And we need to speak up wherever you are. I ask that you use your platform and you use your privilege. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And we are exactly where we should be for this divine moment in history. We are positioned to make a difference. It's time for people everywhere, no matter your context or country, to rise.